Because the party never stopped.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
I thought Jet was going to be like the next big thing.
They were kind of a big thing. I mean,
They should have been way bigger.
we play it a little bit.
But
you
then,
know?
but then was it like they sounded like too much like AC/DC and they were from Australia, so
know.
it was like okay.
That
already
never
got
bothered
AC/DC.
me. I mean, I've always liked Jet.
I like most Jet songs. But the second album was terrible.
You know, the thing is, I've only heard the stuff that we play on the radio, just a couple of songs. I haven't heard the
Yeah.
whole thing, so I need to
Cold
try
Hard
to
Bitch
listen
is
to more
like
of
one
their
of
stuff.
the Cold Hard Bitch is one of the best songs ever recorded.
Yeah,
I just go
it's a
on
great
it.
song. It is a good song.
And Are You Gonna Go My Way or not? Are You Gonna Go My Way? Are You Gonna Be My Girl? See, too much like a Lenny Kravitz song title. That's another blur.
Lenny Kravitz is a rip-off artist, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he's had a great
Some
career,
would
just
say.
kind of sampling other people's sounds, and I don't know, he's fine.
But Are You Gonna Be My Girl and Cold Hard Bitch? Like if it wasn't for if one of them did not exist, then they would just be a one-hit wonder. Jet would be.
Yeah,
And I
but
thought
you
it would
know,
be huge.
a lot of people.
I missed the mark on that one.
That's how they made their bank. In the '80s, being a one-hit wonder.
Tidy career.
Yeah. How about
Off of
Tommy
it?
Two-Tone?
Is
Jenny,
that A675-309?
Yep.
Yeah.
Jenny
okay.
Jenny. That's one of the biggest one-hit
Yeah, I
wonders of
guess
all
that's
time,
the only
I guess.
song, right? Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Did the outfield ever have anything besides?
I don't think so. There are people that say that there was another song, but I don't remember it. Like, that's the thing. People are like, well, they had this other song, and then that other song was like,
Eh.
it was the follow-up, and people were excited about it, and then quickly forgot about it, you know? Oh. Survey. This is what I understand, okay? Tulane University is a university in New Orleans. They got a grant to do some research. So they did research with over 500,000 adults from the United Kingdom. That's
Okay.
a big portion of, that's a huge survey, right?
Yeah, 500,000. Yeah.
But why wouldn't you do it in the United States if you're a United States institution?
What was the
I don't
survey
understand.
about?
It found that
Why is
those-
it that the Brits don't brush their teeth or what?
No, it wasn't about spotted dick or anything like that. Okay.
Okay, then maybe
It found
doesn't
that
make
those living close to fast food restaurants had a 16% higher risk of heart failure compared to those who did not live close.
You know, it's funny
Pubs,
because
pubs and bars were also associated with higher risk of heart failure
okay, yeah,
on that one as well.
it's all about discipline, right? I don't know if I live any closer than I used to. I used to live across the freeway in Arroyo Grande from the Carl's Jr. and the Green Burrito. I never went there.
They took the green burrito down. On
I
that
know,
one,
I
too.
know.
That was like
It's-
one of
it's-
the last bastions.
I
of
like the green burrito. I thought it was good. But
Dude,
anyways, it was
they
more
should
like
bring it
a
back.
traditional Mexican restaurant served food. It wasn't like when you ordered nachos, you got real cheese. You get cheese sauce,
Yeah.
which I like cheese
The
sauce.
tacos were awesome, though.
The tacos were good.
kicked.
Oh, yeah.
kicked Jack in the Box of tacos ass.
I wouldn't say that.
No,
but
they did.
They were big.
They were different. They were different.
I thought they were better
but
than
they
Taco
were more
Bell.
like tacos.
I liked them better than Taco Bell.
They were way better than
But
Taco Bell.
they were Jack in the Box, just a different animal altogether. But I would drive to Jack in the Box, which was a couple exits down, or the McDonald's there on Five Cities Drive. Never go to the one on Grand Avenue, in my opinion. It's just never held a feather to. Is that what you say? A feather to the other one.
It works for me. I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah, you
lived
spent time in the Five Cities. You know.
I lived a total of 2 years in Arroyo Grande, and that one was closer. And I would make the extra drive to my home. That one was closer.
Right.
I would get on the freeway, drive the exits down.
But now the McDonald's by my house, it's so good. I mean, every time you go there, that burger, it just tastes like it was just made. It's so, the bun is so soft and it's just so good.
Dude,
every
that's-
time. And it's
that
terrible
is so
because
key.
I go there more than I would normally go there because I think about it. I'm like, oh, it's going to be so good. The fillet of fish, the bun, and everything is hot, and it's just the right amount of tartar. It's not enough to where it drips on your shirt. That's the worst sandwich, by the way. You want to spill on yourself, you get a fillet of fish, and I know you don't eat them, but that damn tartar will drip right down on your shirt. You got to hold that box underneath.
I do like fish sandwiches, though, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
yes, it's a problem with every fish sandwich.
And I love that sandwich. I love the way it tastes. I like the tartar. I like everything about it. The bun.
See, Tulane University wasted way too much American taxpayer dollars by going out and asking 500,000 United Kingdom adults. They could have asked 2 Central Coast residents.
Yeah, we would have gave them all the information that they need. So,
give us an EKG, and they'd have been like, "Yep, our hypothesis is confirmed."
You know, I think about it all the time. I don't have a Burger King near me. It's like, I don't know, probably a 15-minute drive. Which I know that sounds, but that's just too far.
That's tough.
Leave
I'm
your
the same
house,
way.
go 15 minutes one way, get something, drive 15 minutes back. It's just, so I don't go to Burger King, which is good. If there was a Burger King in town, I would probably go because I'm a sucker for the Whopper. So the poor man's Whopper for me is the Jumbo Jack. And the Jumbo Jack's not bad. But last time I went there, I ordered the Jumbo Jack and I ordered a couple of tacos and they didn't put the tacos in my bag. So by the time I got home, I looked in the bag. There was no tacos. The taco sauce was in there. Appreciate that. Went back. I said, hey, I didn't get my tacos.
That's the worst.
They were sitting there on the counter. And I go, no. I go, dude, now my food is cold. I need you guys to remake this order. And they're like,
What do you mean
sorry.
seeing him on the counter?
Hey,
you
he wants Ralph. He wants us to remake his whole order. Okay. Yeah, we can't do
You'll
that.
send anything back, won't you? $60 steak or 2 tacos for $1.29. You'll send it all back.
Well, it was
right?
ice cold. I've been sitting there. I drove home. I came back. I came in the house. I sat down. I got on the couch. Got my TV tray in front of me.
guy. I should have bought you a T-shirt that
I didn't
said
send
it back, guy. You wouldn't have re-gifted it.
They never gave it to me, so I had to go back and get it. And you should get something for that, not just the food you paid for. There should be something.
Can I be honest with you? You know, Michael, he gave us those presents. I gave you that fishing
No,
line
I
cutter
don't
and
because I still
hot
don't
sauce.
have it. It's still in
And the hot sauce.
It's
Well,
still
here's
sitting
the
on
thing.
your desk.
Here's the thing. I'm having second guess. I'm second guessing after finding out what happened to the shirt that I paid my hard-earned dollars for. Took food out of my kids' mouths to put a shirt on your back.
I didn't know it came from you. You never actually took time to package it and say, to Jeremy from Jeff. It just, I showed up from Costco one day and I thought Costco gave it to me.
These are totally wrapped still. They're sitting on the corner of my desk.
Yeah, I know. I'm not expecting
Michael's
them.
hot sauce, Michael's DVD. I did open up the fishing lure thing to see what that was all about. So I'll send that to you.
No, you won't.
But the other things, I think I'm just going to read.
Here we are. We are now March. He sent this back in December. It is now March.
Is your Christmas
January,
tree still up?
February,
Is your Christmas
March.
tree still up?
All right.
Is your Christmas tree still up?
It's not my Christmas tree. It's my wife's Christmas tree. It has nothing to do with it. I don't see it. It's downstairs.
I can send it in July. And it'll still have a place in your house. It's wrapped presents.
You can send it at Halloween and it still have a place in my house. No, that tree's coming down because we're going to be, I think we're going to be making the move and the purchase of a home here soon. And when we do that, it's going to have to come down.
So it doesn't go back up until December and then it will stay up after that?
I don't know.
And once you get the new home?
My wife works really hard, so I can't really give her a hard time. Like she keeps saying
True.
she wants to make
She
me
works
this
a lot harder than
hot honey garlic chicken. It's like an Asian dish that she wants to make me. And I'm like, all right, the chicken's been out thawed since Sunday. All right, here we are, Friday morning. She was supposed to make it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. She had a work dinner. Last night, no. So I'm making it for dinner tonight. It's in the fridge. I mean, it's fine. It's not, it was frozen chicken. It could sit out and thaw in a refrigerator in a sealed package for, trust me, I'll let you know, but it's fine. If it smells bad, I won't eat it, but I'm sure the chicken's fine.
How you'll let me know is Monday you won't be able to work. That's how you're going to end up letting me know.
I'll be able to work. I'll just be in the bathroom. The studio's going to it'll be a little echoey.
Pro tip from Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. You can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning. 93.3 KZOZ.
Okay, so I'm at the doctor's office, and I was in there for my checkup, and then, they take the blood, they do the pee in the cup thing, and boy, they get the pee in the cup thing information back pronto. Like I peed in a cup and like 10 minutes later, they're like, all right, your kidneys look great. Your analysis thing is perfect. I'm like, oh, sweet. Well, that was quick. I go, what about the blood? Oh, we got to send that off to the lab. So, and if you missed it, everything came back normal. So I was really happy about that. But then we're sitting down and she's asking me about my mental wellness. She goes, have you felt, like you don't want to do anything, or are you depressed? I'm like, no. Like, when is all this mental Yes, right? All this mental health stuff. So I'm
How's
like, no,
your
I'm
mind
good.
feeling?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Fine. I've never really thought about it. That's my response to that. Like, they're trying to get you into. I wonder what the spiff is from the pharmaceutical companies with the mental health medication.
I don't know, but I've never been asked that question
spiff,
before.
Like you must get like a cruise around the world or something like that if you sell the most of those. I want to know what that spiff is, because they're sure pushing it very hard.
So, I'm just trying to avoid the question of, oh, you still haven't lost that 30 pounds you've been talking about losing for 2 years.
So, my mental state is, I'm hoping you don't ask me about the 30 pounds.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, all right, well, what else you got? What else you want to talk about besides, me stepping on that scale? Which, the good thing is I hadn't gained any weight, but, I'm still right where I was. And come on, that can't be that bad, right? At least I haven't gained any weight. I'm exactly where I've been. So,
nothing lost, nothing gained.
Yeah. So she's like, all right, well, she goes, do you drink alcohol? I says, and I'm like, Tammy, we talk about this all the time. And we're on a first name basis. And so, cause she's a nurse practitioner, not a doctor. So I don't have to, I do call her Dr. Tammy just to be funny.
I prefer seeing them over the doctor.
Yes,
the real doctor.
I really think
100% of the time.
I feel like you get more time
They
with
seem
them.
to care more.
Yes.
They seem to care more.
time.
They seem to have more access to stuff. The doctor's just like, hey, I'm the doctor. I'm the superstar. I don't got time for you. I'll sign your papers, whatever you need. Move it along. See you next year. I mean, that's how I get treated by my doctor. The person that I can actually get contact to and get an appointment within 3 weeks with, that is the person that seems to care the most to me. So anyway, sorry. I'm glad you call her by her first name.
So I go, yeah, Tammy, we talk about this all the time. And she goes, well, how many days a week do you drink? And I said, well, I drink on Tuesdays. I play in a dart league, and I usually have, 3 beers. Of course, I don't tell her they're the tubs of beer, which are 32
3 is
ounces
more like 6.
apiece.
I get it. Like you never tell the doctor the truth.
You can't, because I was told by somebody that whatever number you give them, they double it. So fine.
Okay.
So I go Tuesdays, and then usually maybe Friday might have a little wine with dinner, but Saturday you should have a few beers and maybe a couple cocktails. She goes, oh, well, do you ever have more than 6 in one occasion? I go, well, I'm sure I have, but it's not a regular thing.
You should say, nope, I stop at 5.
Has anybody else been asked that? Do you ever have more than 6 drinks in one night or one day? I'm like, well, hell yeah. Saturday, I drink beer all day, and then I have a couple cocktails at night before I go to bed.
Actually, no. I stop at 5 3/4.
And that's not every Saturday. It depends what I'm doing, but I'm usually at my buddy's place, and we're just sitting around doing, work around his place, or we're out fishing or doing something, and I'm not driving.
You ever fish, Tammy? It's thirst. It works up a thirst.
By the way, my nurse practitioner, Dr. Tammy, as I call her, she's thin as a rail. She's like a yoga person. So, she's like the perfect picture of health. And I'm sitting here needing to lose 30 pounds and drinking 6 beers a day. But
oh, that way she can cast all that judgment on everybody she sees. Jeremy.
Did you get this question? Do you get the question about how many drinks do you have?
Mm-hmm.
And do you?
And I used to drink a lot more than I do now, like a lot more than I do now. Yeah. And
see, I think I'm okay because I don't drink daily. I just drink, I'm a social drinker. I'm not a. So I don't come home and have a drink.
My answer would. And then this is where I think they're stupid, because I think it was pretty obvious I would drink a lot at the time, and I'd be like, every once in a while, about once or twice a week. and then they had, how many drinks do you have? And I'm like, I don't know, 2 or 3. And they're like, okay. I'm like, no, I'm not fooling you. I know I'm not fooling you, but you have to ask it. It's like your standard procedure. So it's all.
Yeah, at one point you're like, okay, what can I tell them that I think they're going to believe? And then I have a friend that's like, you know what? You're an idiot. He says, listen, there's only one person I tell the truth to, and that's my doctor, because that's the guy that's looking, or the gal that's looking out for my life. And I'm like, yeah, you got a point there. But my blood work came back. It was good. So I have a couple of buddies. They're daily drinkers. And apparently when you drink a lot, it doesn't probably happen to everybody, but your triglycerides will go through the roof. And so I was waiting for that to come back.
Speaking science now.
It's in your cholesterol panel. You got your HDL, your CDL is not. That's a truck driver thing. HDL, whatever the other one is, and triglycerides. And triglycerides, apparently, for people I know that have had friends, that'll be over it's supposed to be like 150 is the high end, and they've had it close to 1,000 or over, and that's because they had to cut back on their drinking. So I got mine back, and it was normal, so I felt pretty good. So my Tuesday and Saturday cocktails or drinks are not affecting me as bad.
But I
was just curious if you run into that same thing where they grill you.
Okay, so if that is a telltale sign, this is what I have a problem with the doctor asking the question, or the practitioner in this case, because it's on their standard form. But if that was an issue going into it, they would see it in the results on the test if the test were accurate, correct?
Right.
So why are you asking me? I want to fire back and I want to say, what does the test tell you?
Well,
I'm going to start just answering.
We haven't got the results.
Every time I get asked to ask a question, I'm going to answer. I'm going to just answer with a question.
I think what you need to do on this thing is, I think it's a waste of time. You have to go in there. You have to do this hoopla. They take your blood work, and then let me go in ahead of time without, just go in and get my lab work done. Look at my results, and then we can have a conversation.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. And some people be.
I miss COVID. I know. Dude, you know when I knew there was trouble? When anyone that came to our country didn't have to get a vaccine. And I go, if you're telling me I can't go to work, but everyone coming in doesn't have to get one, I go,
well, once we found out, when Fauci said, okay, I'm sorry, but if you've had 2 boosters and 2 vaccines, you can get and give COVID to another guy who's had 5 vaccines and 4 boosters. What's the difference between a vaccine and a booster? I don't know, it's just more vaccine, but booster sounds better. Anyway, a guy with 25 vaccines would get and give COVID to another guy with 25 vaccines. That's why I'm introducing the daily COVID shot. Every day you get a shot. By the time you get to your car, you got no immunity. But it's a beautiful 39 seconds.
Dumbass of the day. 93.3 KZOZ.
Dana Carvey and Dave Spade together on a podcast. I haven't listened to that podcast. I need to listen to that podcast because they sound like they might be funnier than they were on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, yeah.
When they're stripped down and
what's the name of their podcast called? Speaking of podcasts,
I forget. It's funny because I think it launched as all they did was talk about stuff behind the scenes on Saturday Night Live, and then now they're doing another podcast where they're just talking about life. And that's the one I want to listen. I don't care about the behind the scenes at Saturday Night Live. The medical profession oftentimes recently will do things that are seen as not trustworthy and a bit of a joke. Another example of that, Jeremy, coming up in our dumbass of the day. And it's not Dr. Tammy or whatever you call her. Okay. It's
science.
Hold on a second.
Science will win.
Oh, I'm sorry. Science will win. Sorry. I start talking bad about the powers that be. Just fired up when I start talking bad about the medical industry. But coming up, dumbass of the day.
Hey, let's do dumbass of the day.
Are you ready for a group of people to get mad based on a comment that I say?
This happens quite often, especially when you start talking about COVID, the vaccine, or
this has nothing to do with COVID. This has nothing to do with vaccines. This has nothing to do with Fauci. This has nothing to do with the politics of it all.
What about the border being secure? We get some people saying you're a MAGA spitter the other day. Quit spitting out your MAGA agenda.
Making America great is not a bad thing.
Again,
you want to live in a great place?
You forgot the last letter.
Yeah, that last letter I think is the hanging, the one that they hang up on. That's the one that gets them. Do you remember the first time you ever met somebody and they said they were a kinesiology major?
Yes, and I think that has something to do with stretching or something.
PE.
PE.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, that sounds like fancy. Like that almost sounds medical. Like
exactly.
You have to get a doctorate for that. And then they told
So-
me what it was. Like, oh, you stretch. You teach people how to stretch. Okay.
Yeah, so I distinctly remember the first time somebody ever told me they were a kinesiology major. It was when I was at college. And do you remember there was a guy that we would see at the bar and hang out with because he played darts? His name was Rich. Do you remember that Rich dude?
Rich Waterman. I totally remember.
I can only
Rich Waterman.
okay. Don't say his last name. Don't say his last name.
No, he lives in, I don't know. Who knows where he lives? He doesn't live here.
He should. He probably lives in jail. I figured that guy to live in jail, and he had like a cool, attractive, nice girlfriend.
She had a weird name like Sunshine or something. Like, what was her
Yeah.
name? I forget.
And I asked her. I said she was a student at school. I said, and I thought it was a really weird pairing, a really odd couple.
Well, she was
I
attractive,
said, "What-"
and he looked like he crawled out of a ditch.
Oh God, yeah,
Yeah.
or right out of parole.
And I think
like parole.
I think he had some missing teeth. I mean, it was just like he was, and he looked like he was 20 years older than he was. His skin was bad.
He was like, you ask him how old he was, he's like 26, and you're like, are you sure about that, man? Look like you're 56.
You want to hear bad news?
But-
I heard somebody talking about this friend the other day, and I believe that him and her are still together. So he
way.
must have something. He's packing something that we're not. That's
My gosh,
Most
that
of
is
us
so
aren't.
crazy for me to believe. Okay, anyways, sorry, I digress because that's not really where the story's going. But there are made up science fields, because that's PE, okay? I'm sorry, or yoga. That is, you're teaching people how to stretch. Don't put ology on the end of it, okay? You don't stretchology, or make it apparent, okay? Don't try to hide it. I thought she was like a scientist. I was like, what's she doing with this guy? No, she was just a PE teacher. Have you ever heard the term sexologist? I didn't know this exists.
No, I didn't.
But
I haven't.
But apparently Suzanne Mulville is a sexologist, and she is pushing to have Ohio, Illinois, Connecticut, and New Mexico make medical marijuana legal for women who have female orgasmic disorder. This is something that she says reaches back as far as the 1970s, and it supports the idea that weed can help women achieve orgasm that can't do it without weed. She says about half of women suffer from the disorder, so that's big money, right? I mean, half of women in 4 very populous states. Well, New Mexico is not populous, but the other 3 are very populous. It's called FOD because it's female orgasmic disorder. Women with FOD tend to also have more issues with anxiety. Oh, here we go. Tell Tammy. Anxiety, depression, and PTSD is not just about pleasure, it's about a human right. Okay, it's not enough. Like, this is where I stop trusting doctor, is when they start giving reasoning behind their science. The science is like, hey, women can achieve orgasms easier if they're high. Leave it at that. Let everybody determine, okay, look at your studies, your facts, whatever, and make their determination. But she's sitting there selling it. She goes, it's a medical condition that deserves medical treatment. It's like, okay, where's your funding for this study coming from? Where's your funding for this bill coming from? It's obvious where it's coming from. And I know everybody here in Golden State loves it, so it's fine, whatever. But it's like
maybe not everybody.
Stop. Just stop with the reasoning and I'm a sexologist and I'm a audiologist, and I mean, I guess that's somebody who's real, right? I mean, we're audiologists, right?
No, I think an audiologist is the one that puts the headphones on you and says, all right, I'm going to play a tone. You raise what hand and what ear it's in.
Do you drink?
And they do. Dude, I'm here to get a hearing aid. Yeah, but how many drinks do you have? You have more than 6 in one setting?
Sorry. It's just the standard questions I have to ask.
It's very important that you let me know how much you drink.
I'm sure the sexologist asks, how much do you drink? Congratulations, Suzanne Mulville. We all see through your BS. You're Jeff and Jeremy.
Dumbass of the day. It's Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ. Subscribe to the Jeff and Jeremy podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. It's your Central Coast commute-friendly podcast.